order, Griggs County Commission. Stand the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, roll. John. Here. Dale. Here. Ron. Here. John. Troy's here. Alright. Okay, agenda. Any additions or corrections to the agenda as presented?
There was a few changes since I sent it last night.
You'll notice I took off that encroachment policy. We're not ready to see that here. It hasn't even been seen by the water board. There's no recommendation for us to look at. So I told Samantha to take it off. What else did I change?
We took off the FAR mill levy. Jamie said that he had something to present, but not the solution. So I just took it off. Okay. And then we took off the tax director's application. And since it's going to be advertised in Foster County for the next 2 weeks, I'll just bring it to you guys at the April 17th meeting.
Okay.
And then just an explanation. The reason I had Samantha take it off, take that FAR levy off of there, I suggested that she call out to the state and see if they can help her do whatever needs to be done. Because basically the commission approved something and something else was done.
Yep.
The net effect was 0, but I still think that the motion that was made during the budget period should rule.
It has to.
Right, over a typographical error. Yeah. So they should have some administrative way to handle that issue. And they've seen this before. This isn't the first time it's happened. So hopefully they can help us steer through this deal. Okay. Anything else?
What was the other fund that was affected? The one that was over?
Regional corrections.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
It should be an administrative deal. This isn't. It should not be a major issue.
It shouldn't. It shouldn't affect the overall mill levy.
It did not.
So the way I read the century code, it should just be favored. Yeah. But how we do that correctly is you're right. We need to find that out.
Right.
Yep. All right.
Okay. Anything else?
This is on the agenda.
What's that?
No, we're approving the agenda.
Right. Yep.
Do we want to talk? I'm not quite sure. Maybe we talk about it when we approval for the board member, but I thought the JDA board was done away with.
The mill levy is done away with, but the JDA is not done. I mean, the JDA is they still have funds from prior, and they have revolving loan funds, and
I guess it'll exist on the money.
So it just waits until the commitments run out then.
Yep.
Do they still want 2 county commissioners on their board, I imagine? Okay.
I haven't really heard anything from you.
That's okay. Okay.
We haven't had a meeting since January, I think it was.
That was the only question I had.
Okay.
Is there any updates on the extension that should be?
Haven't heard anything
No.
since
Okay.
the interview.
I move that we approve the agenda.
Been moved by Dale to approve the agenda as presented. Is there a second to the motion?
I'll second the motion.
Seconded by Sean. Is there any discussion? Is there any discussion? Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. We'll move on to the minutes from the March 20th meeting.
I see one, let's see, call it the fourth paragraph. Chairman Olson opened floor for any changes to the agenda. Motion by Stefan to accept. Stefan wasn't here.
I think I made that motion.
You did.
You did, okay. That sounds kind of right, yeah.
Hi, Bob. Any additions or corrections to the minutes from the March 20th meeting?
That's the only thing I was going to mention. In the, just about the last paragraph, I guess, on page 2, it says, there was discussion on the joint agreement. Maybe that should say lease agreement, because I think that's,
That's what it was.
I think
Okay.
we're talking about the lease agreement. Joint agreement isn't that
Okay.
explicit, so maybe just change that to lease.
Anything else?
I'd make a motion to approve the March 20th minutes with corrections and dispense with the reading.
Been moved by Dale to approve the meetings as amended. Is there a second to the motion?
I'll second the motion.
Seconded by Sean. Is there any discussion? Is there any discussion? Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. We'll move on to the bills. All the senior centers must get $4,000 from the taxpayers every year.
That's in the 2 meals, the senior citizens.
Oh, in its entirety, it's 2 mills, and that's each one's share. I see.
And three of the clubs meet together, and then the fourth one is separate. Main Street Storage.
I thought that went away.
It's went away. This will be the 4th time it's supposed to go away, and the message doesn't seem to be getting anybody to make it.
Yep.
He'll probably say that it was a new case with new evidence. I'm just guessing.
Did you notice the old clerk of court's office?
Oh, clerk of court, right down there?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Oh, for storing stuff in?
Instead of donuts on the table?
And well,
I think we have room for stuff if
The
we
jail
need
cells
stuff.
downstairs are
Right.
usable.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I haven't talked to him, I guess.
I haven't seen this come up for months though.
Well, it's been a while.
Yeah.
If you want, I can ask him. And not that it'll do much good, but I can find out what it is anyway. And ask him why he needs to keep doing it.
Okay. Anything else on the bills?
I move to approve the March bills and April vouchers as presented.
Been moved by Dale to approve the March bills and April vouchers as presented. Is there a second to the motion?
I'll second it.
Seconded by Ron. Is there any discussion? Is there any discussion? Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. John?
Aye.
Dale?
Aye.
Ron?
Aye.
Sean?
Aye.
Troy votes aye. Motion carries. Next, we'll move to page 6 through 12 are the monthly office reports.
Sorry for the wrong one.
Should probably use a darker pen.
Should.
Well, in case you need to copy it someday or something.
I'd move to approve the office reports as presented.
Been moved by Sean to approve the office reports as presented. Is there a second to the motion?
I'll second it.
Seconded by Ron. Is there any discussion? Is there any discussion? Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Okay, we'll move on to Bob Brooks.
Question and answer period, or what have we got?
I don't know, it says engineering report, I don't know what.
Well, part of it would be, what we need is easements to go forward with this, to move the project along.
What are we talking about?
The Thompson Bridge outlet.
The federal aid road easements that seem to have disappeared over the years. They weren't filed when the road was built.
The county doesn't have easements on a good portion of their FAR roads. And if this legal drain was approved, and
Yeah.
we need the.
And I did talk with the second in command out there at Bismarck, Troy Hogan told me he could get the majority of the easements to send with, but it probably won't get acted on until we have all the easements. And so those would take the county's easements to the FDR roads, or FAR roads.
So if the easements weren't
Filed.
recorded,
And there's a new landowner quite possibly in many cases now.
then the question would, does the easement need to get bigger or not?
Well, I don't know that,
From what I understand,
because we don't know what the old ones that weren't filed, what
How about-
they were.
what happened now, say that the fiber optics got buried down there? Did they have a utility type easement filed, or did they just go put them in?
On what did you say?
Along the federal aid road, like
Yeah.
the buried fiber optic phone company did down there? I mean,
You went, sometimes they went right over an approach, right over alongside the road,
Yeah.
right up.
yeah, who,
The easement doesn't really mean anything because, well, right now, just a couple of years ago, they went over top of the culverts, they went wherever they wanted to go.
Yep.
It was within that easement area. It
Mhm.
doesn't say it's supposed to be outside of the easement, it's in the easement, so that's.
but if there isn't a filed easement for them to be inside of it, how does that affect anything later on?
They went by the 33 feet or what they went.
Yeah, because,
Why are we talking about it here?
so what are you gonna do with the FAR easements that were never filed? We approached Jamie about this last fall, and he was gonna research it, and I don't know how far he's gone.
You know, like, I have some easements there that have never been filed. Some of them have been stamped by a notary public and signed by the landowner at that time.
It doesn't do you much good if they're not recorded.
No, especially if the land's changed hands.
I don't know about that, if it's, as long as it was
Public use after 25 years. is-
Signed.
I mean, I think you can claim that the easement is implied,
Yeah.
but again, we're not gonna do that in this room.
No.
Somebody needs to go figure it out and bring it back to us. I don't know why
That's what I approached the state's attorney about, I guess, was
Yeah.
getting that done.
But after single purpose for 25 years, it becomes public use, and then there is an easement. It's,
Prescription.
yeah.
And I think Jamie's hands are filled. I supposedly he's got 4 trials or something up in Nelson County.
Yeah, he's got one going on today, he called him.
Ripped or something. He's supposed to write about that murder case he's got.
Mhm.
We've been gonna meet, he's gonna come down and look at the easements and pick them up or whatever. I think it'd be best for me just to bring the box up to Kelly and then they can go through them.
See
Put
what
them in the
comes.
book, the ones that are
See-
notarized and signed, and then they're
Yeah.
there. That far.
And if the rest of the project catches up to what's holding up with the easements, then that'll have to hold it up, but
And I kind of think I guess Tom Moe had said, well, maybe these ones that Lynn says he can get, they'll be wider than what you were originally.
Be great.
Maybe we could turn them over to the county for your easements.
well, I mean, that's,
Yeah.
I don't know what the legality of
That's all gotta be beat
the
to
chain
death
of title
somewhere.
is. I don't know if you can,
Transfer an easement or give you the easement.
well, I don't know if you can file an easement on a piece of property after the chain of title is past that.
Right. That's-
I don't know the answer to that. But I don't think you need them anyway. And if the phone company went and buried cable on the county's easement and they didn't have an easement to do it, then they'll have to move it when we dig the ditch. I mean,
That's
that's
correct.
no big deal.
yeah.
Yeah.
They know that. Now, is Nodak on the north side of that road, or they're on the north side for a ways and then they go to the south side, and they're 1 foot off the right of way, so you guys are gonna have to stand the cost of that if you gotta move
They're
that.
76 feet where we measured them.
Well, that must be
They're
75.
on the landowner's easement, so you guys will have to stand the cost of that if you're
Yeah.
gonna need that moved.
Yeah.
So,
But all this really isn't, until the county has to sign off on it, isn't a county problem, because this was a voted on legal drain.
yeah,
It's all becomes part of the engineering costs and the development costs of that drain. And the only thing required for the county then is a signature, which we don't have any choice, we'll just have to sign it when that is presented in front of us.
yeah.
Because this was a voted on legal drain, so it's moving forward of its own accord now.
Right.
And it will be sent out with whatever easements he can come up with.
And the county shouldn't have to do the title work on the easement issue either. That should be part of the drain.
I guess I don't know how that works.
Originally, what they talked about, Troy, was adding to your easement, extending your easement in those areas, so that we would be buying the extra 20 or 25 feet or whatever as an easement, instead of buying the whole thing that the FAR didn't have, and should have had.
Well, I mean, that's just gonna have to be included in the cost of the project. None of this is, but as of this point, none of this is a concern until,
And then the other thing I have to address, I guess, is Jamie called me and told me there was a misunderstanding about what the water board had asked to be included in that road ditch thing. And what we had asked for is the same thing as the state engineer, the slopes, the bottom slope's different for county and township. And the opportunity for somebody, if they couldn't get their neighbor's easement, to use a utility type approach for burying the pipe.
Right.
And
Well, the email that I got,
yeah, he totally misunderstood.
so it's off the agenda,
Okay.
but Dale told me that the water board hadn't even considered it yet, so I don't want to even try to deal with it here.
It was, I think that was a suggestion clean back in probably November, wasn't it, Dan?
Yeah, it was
We'll talk about
quite a
it.
while ago.
So that's really all we have to talk about here
Okay.
so we just need to clean up the sign-offs that we have on the easements. We need to get those into Kelly and get them cleaned up so that then the water board knows where they stand and what is
is.
left.
And how much more we have to buy.
Right, that's right, yep. So I make a motion that we have Dwayne bring any easements, affidavits pertaining to the easements to Kelly and get the county in compliance with what we have on record as far as easements for that drain. And for that matter, it should be easements for the whole county. As long as we're doing it, we may as well get it all to see
What I
where
have
we're
is,
at.
it's scattered all over the county. Some places there's miles of easements, some places there's it's here, and then they had an easement at one time of so many feet, and then a few years later, they came in to rebuild the road, so then they got additional easement, so then,
I think we need
but that's
to-
all there,
I
that,
think we need to put all that into the county record, so we have it on that. A lot of stuff has never been filed.
So we don't run into this again in the next time.
I didn't even know that
Strange
stuff
that the
where it
county
was.
government can't follow its own procedures.
Okay, well, we're trying to now.
It's been moved that Wayne file the non-recorded easements that he has in his office on behalf of the county, for the county's road system. Is there a second to the motion?
Right, second.
Seconded by Dale. Is there any discussion? Is there any discussion?
I've got a question. Do you think there's any that should have been filed on behalf of the utility companies that
No.
might be in their possession that we better bring into it? No?
We file our easements.
I was thinking the phone company. I just look at some of my.
They file their easements too.
Not always.
Well, I mean, they go build plant without an easement,
Yeah.
but they don't take them down to Wayne and give them.
No, but I mean, do you think there's anything in transition there that they count on?
Sometimes, in my past history, since I've been here, they ask the commissioners if they are allowed to put their utility line inside of in the easement.
That's what I was trying to
And
get
that-
at.
and that's fine.
been given to them.
But then they assume the risk that somebody's
Right.
gonna come along and do some road work and they're gonna have to
Yeah,
move
I
it.
think there was something written up that didn't say that, that
And that's what we're
specified
talking
that
about. Is
if we were to do some reconstruction or something down the road, that
Right,
they had to move it and pay for it to get
Yeah.
it moved. But now,
yep.
I think since that time, that's been written into the agreements that they're responsible for any moving of any water line, power line, or whatever, if the county chooses to reconstruct a road or a drain or whatever.
That's why we never built anything on the county right of ways or the state. We were always 1 foot off.
Okay.
We didn't wanna have to come back and redo it later.
So apparently,
Maybe there
one
was
time down
something
there, they
in
were
there.
at 75 feet, and being poles were at 76.
Yep.
That's a pretty,
Would be a pretty good rule of
that's a
thumb.
pretty good assumption. Because when we staked those lines, we were always 1 foot off the right of way.
That answers some good questions for me.
Okay, is there any further discussion? Is there any discussion? Is there any discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Okay.
Or-
Just one thing, when you gather up all those easements, Wayne, and maybe Kelly knows the answer, but we better find out if we can still record them if there's been a deed recorded in front of them. You might have to get the signature of the new landowner. I don't know.
Kind of worrisome, you know.
Right.
Well, I know she had asked Jamie, I think, was supposed to research that.
Because when you buy a piece of property, you buy it subject to the easements that are filed. You don't buy it subject to things that aren't filed. And I don't know that you can jump in line. I don't think you can, but somebody else knows the
It's
answer
gotta
to
be a
that.
historical document, it was signed by them and notarized.
It doesn't matter if it's not recorded. It doesn't get in the chain of title. If it's not in the chain of title and the thing changes hands, I think you're SOL.
Some people have bought land and they haven't recorded their deed right. They still won't.
You don't have to record your deed. You're not going to sell it again. If you sell it again, you will record the deed before you do it because you don't own it yet.
We run into that a lot when we started sending out letters on this. There's an awful lot of deeds down here that have the wrong address on them, and that's just what you're talking about. The buyers haven't recorded the change.
I kind of think that the easement is still going to be in place because there's no, There's no expiration date on it, but we'll have to see. I think Wayne's probably right. I think it is a historical document, but we'll see.
And of course, one thing, and part of the research that we've done on this is the fact that maybe there was an engineer company involved at the time of these FAR roads were built, and if that engineer company was still around, they should have records of those easements on everything.
I think a lot of those roads were drawn up on paper, you know, as where to take the fill, where to drop it, so there should be something somewhere. A lot of those records, if they were kept by the state or by the engineering firm, they keep them for so long and then they
Purge them.
Yeah.
You know, I've got some boxes of, but most of that's federal aid, chip seals and stuff like that. Or, you know, since
Okay, well, we'll find out.
Yeah.
Yep.
Is that it, Bob?
Can I get a notification of that when they find out, so I know where to start? Or let Dale know, he'll let me know. Other than that, that's it.
Okay,
Thanks, Bob.
thank you, sir. Wayne?
Know what page it is in your packet there. There's been that meeting in Fargo at West Fargo at Cass County.
Starts on page 13.
I got stands here so I can
Yeah.
see what you guys have got. And there's a lot of stuff going on with this money that's supposed to be just handed right over to us. A lot of hoops you gotta jump.
It's government after all.
Yep. So of
It's
course,
free money, but it costs you something.
yep. If you're gonna do any, this first one that shows page 13 here, it says, design speed exception request. Maybe I should go to what I have here. Brian Fuchs from the state DOT conducted a meeting, went through that, I think in your package you have that PowerPoint presentation.
Yeah.
So, of course, some of the major points that were brought up was the requirement, if we do any major reconstruction or do any gravel projects, that we put 3 inches of gravel on, and after that point, then we must post those roads to be 105,500 pounds lower weight
On a gravel road.
on the gravel road.
Well, can we put
Supposedly some
east on?
senator that said
Just a little.
there shouldn't be a gravel road that you can't haul 105.5 on. Why can't you haul
all of them are?
105.5?
You can't. You can't make something.
So
Probably being done already.
I said, well, okay, so we come 105.5 for 6 miles, all of a sudden we get to Steele County.
Right.
Now it's 80,000. Or even like the Sutton Road, the first 3 miles is 105. The next miles that we just paid last year, that's 80,000. Then they want us to gravel, we're gonna gravel that County Road 3 all the rest of the way to the county line, and that'll be 105.
But just
that's
because
what
we
want.
put 3 inches on it doesn't mean it's gonna support 105,000. I mean, that isn't.
That's just the requirement supposedly. That's what you gotta do. You accept the money, then you gotta,
Can't put it in a small
And
print.
how wide is the top of the gravel road?
I don't know if it's 26 feet, something like that, 28, 26 feet, probably. Some are 28, some are 26. Basically, what we're gonna be doing to the Hannaford Road this year would be about 3 inches, I think, on that. if your base is no good, no matter how much gravel you
Right,
put on or
that's what I
pavement or
mean.
whatever, it's gonna break down.
Yeah.
But they think, well, you can just go out there and blade it and fix it up. So, and then you have to have a 55 mile per hour design speed. This is on any, it says on any new construction. But if it is so that you can't have 55 mile per hour, like on a curve or whatever, then you have to request a design speed exception. Send that into the state. That's at page 13. You got to fill that out. You got to say why you don't think it can stand 55 miles per hour. I said, well, number one, I said Sulphur isn't even 55 miles per hour on those curves. Expression lines is 50. Well, yeah, but this is what you want. So,
I always take them at 70.
huh?
I never kick my crews off when I go around there.
That makes those gravel projects pretty expensive. At 3 inches.
And we've got, I don't remember if I
But we don't
gave-
have to go 3 inches, it's just if you do 3 inches, it's that.
No, but you can't get the money
Yeah.
unless you go 3
You got to
inches.
do the, you
Yeah.
can't just do a minimum
You have to do
maintenance
3
gravel. You
inches.
got to do the,
So that's
3
14,
inches.
that's 1,400
Yards.
yards per mile. Well, what do we pay for a yard laid in place? Couple $200.
A yard?
what was it?
About $13, I think it was.
No, but in place, by the time it's placed.
3 feet.
With all the engineering and everything.
Right, yeah, right, and the grading and the.
Yeah.
Packing.
What was it, 35,000 a mile?
Yeah. that's what it's
Something like that, I think that
Right,
they guesstimated.
and that's just for, yeah,
And it's not a 90%, 10% match. We'll get 100%
yeah.
from this money. He said if you do the 105.5, you have to put signs up that say, not every truck can go 105.5. You got to have the right number of axles, ESO. So that sign's got to say that you got to have like 7 axles or whatever to.
Or so many ton per axle, or
And you can still post them in the spring for low limits.
And does the grant money pay for the signs? Probably.
For the signs? Yes, for those, like, let's see. I don't remember if I've requested a grant for, say we do that grade raise west of Bedford. I requested that they had that local road safety program. And that request is in for delineators and signs, new signs for that road. So that should come, I think that'll come, and then I think I did it for here too. I don't think I did it for Sutton Project Road, but that's great. So, but most trucks are way overloaded anyway, so probably all 80,000. So there, sometime if you guys would go through like that PowerPoint thing, it explains everything there with the axle. And you can intermingle funds like federal and state, which some counties are doing that one now.
So if you gravelled that from the Steele County line to the Langer corner, you'd have to ask for an exception
Yes.
because of that curve?
Well, yes, we'd have to ask for an exception. We presented, Jenny helped me, we presented the projects as we had written it up. I don't know if you guys,
So that probably isn't such a big deal. They're not gonna say,
No.
oh, you gotta read.
you're not gonna say no.
Kind of explain what the highlighted means.
Okay, this is 1358 money, that's money that,
27, page 27.
Postal 1358, let's see where are we, Griggs.
I couldn't quite figure out what the
Yeah.
difference between the highlighted and the
I don't know why it's
non-highlighted.
highlighted, because you know, we still have funds remaining,
Right.
some. And I don't know if these other ones are done with, maybe they're completed.
Okay, okay.
Well, this is a match on this one, where the other one
Right.
was 100%.
Yeah, the 1358
Right.
is a match, and this other one isn't.
Maybe
We
it'll-
still have to have the documentation when we get the project, I suppose, get it bid and stuff, then maybe that's when we'll get the money.
Okay.
You know, or, and we might have to turn in piecemeal like we did before. But they're hoping the match won't be involved, it'll just be 100% reimbursement for the projects. Here, John, this is, I don't remember if you guys got that last time when Jenny was here. It has all the 4 different projects.
Mhm. Yep.
And they approved the overlay.
So they approved
That
all
would
four,
take-
they approved all 4 projects.
They approved all 4 projects. Of course, that would take 1.68 million, so.
But we could develop another project and transfer
Yes.
those funds.
And so what I just put together a little figure. If I brought it. Instead of the paving, we would do this. And so they elected I think it's a 3-person board for our region. For each region, there's, instead of everybody having to meet together and stuff, we can just send in our alternative project if we want to, and then they will talk about it, those 3 guys, one's from Grand Forks County, Barnes County, and Cass County. And they will discuss the project, and then they'll approve it or disapprove it. So there's an estimate of, if we gravel that, down to 10, it's 2.5 miles, 73,500 approximately.
Mm-hmm.
But this is all, depends upon the price of the gravel, now that everybody knows how much this last project was underbid by the other ones. It could be higher, but, and where the availability of gravel. I think there's gravel over there by Hedgeson's pit, you know, so that's pretty close.
County Road 3, where's that?
County Road 3 is the Sutton Road.
Oh,
So
sure.
that'd be from
Yeah,
the
oh,
pavement-
yeah.
pavement south to Wimbledon. Barnes County's section of the road down there is already 105,
Mhm.
that goes to Wimbledon. So then that would match up with that.
Mhm.
And then they would be able to come from Hanford or all the way across from, but I think Steele County's, Laverne Road was 80,000, right, Dale?
Yeah.
Pavement. So it's kind of silly because every township road, you know, is still gonna be 80,000,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
And there's still gonna be county roads that are 80,000. County Road 8, you know, that grade raise, I thought it was a little high. I wanted some figuring of my own, and I calculated the depth of gravel and the width and whatever, or fill, and I think I just used $20 a yard, which could be high if they're just gonna use it, haul it out of a hill right next to the road or something, but it's pretty close to $1 million.
Where's the county line? Is it right?
Right by that where Lyle Black used to live. You mean-
Right in that little curve in the road there.
Yeah.
Right. So is Foster County gonna do their portion of it too?
Their portion's a little bit higher on that part. I think farther west there's a low spot.
Right, it's really, I mean, it's really low
It's
there.
right there too. And I don't know what they're gonna do.
You know, unless we coordinate with them for us to do part of it, and then you have to slow down and go through that, because where it's going, it turns north, and before the last time where it goes west there, it gets real low right in there.
I haven't talked to them to see what they're gonna do. I did talk to Steele County.
Because the county line comes right through the middle of that slough, basically.
Yeah, it's right on the,
Yeah.
it's on the west end of
Is
the
this Farmstead in Griggs or Foster?
Foster.
Foster.
See, there's a little raise. It comes back up. It drops down there for 0.2 of a mile. I just used my speedometer to measure
Yeah,
it. And then it's a pretty good hill for a ways
Yeah.
going west.
And
Then it drops back down
and
again.
turns, and
That's
that's
about
starts up the hill.
4/10 of a mile there.
And that's Foster County there.
No, I mean, going to the,
Oh, going
to the east.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's, yeah, that's about, and I figured 4 feet. I don't know if they'll even allow you to do 4 feet.
That's a ways.
You know, the state did 9 feet, 8 or 9 feet over by McHenry, so
Mhm.
same slough.
But we'd almost have to coordinate with Foster County, or we're building half a bridge, basically. If they don't fix their part of it, it doesn't make the road any more passable.
It does on our part too. I'm just thinking about if this money runs out and say the water comes up, then who's gonna pay for it then?
But if the water comes up and Foster doesn't fix their part of it, the road's not passable anyway.
They might fix their part and then we.
Well, so I said we should coordinate with them,
We won't be able
and
to, so.
we should coordinate with them and make sure that we do it together. It would be a cost savings for everybody.
I wonder if they have even thought about that. I would think they would. I can call them, Nate.
We should, yeah,
And then before the next meeting, Jenny will be here the next meeting with that revised contract and I think another contract, I think, for seal or whatever, something she can bring. Something came up, she wasn't here today, but something came up and she couldn't make it today. So.
But the worst case scenario I can think of is that if we do go ahead and raise this grade and the water does come up, and then we would have $1 million spent on a road that goes into the water. That's not
That's
very
just a
prudent use
driveway.
of-
No, but I'm sure they would fix it up because there isn't many crossings for them to get across over.
Oh, I
It's a
understand.
pretty major road you want to cross all the way to
That's
Rockford
right.
if you want.
But I mean, don't you think we should communicate with them prior to us deciding anything? I mean, if they don't have the money to fix it, they don't have the money to fix it. So they should probably be budgeting money here at the same time we
Or
are.
they can bond for it or whatever, but, you know, they've done that in the past. So county's better. But I mean, we don't have to decide today, but it's.
No, but could you call them and ask them?
Sure.
Yeah, so we know. I mean, if they have no intention of ever fixing it, then what's the use of us fixing it?
No. What about the other projects?
Well, I mean, I think they're all viable, but I mean, that one there, we just need to make sure that we don't waste $1 million for nothing.
Like Steel County did, paving their road, we could.
Yeah, we could. But at least it still goes through there. There's no chance of water coming up and,
I'm sure they'll fix it. I don't know if they'll, how much they'll spend on it, but I could do that. I'll talk to Nate and see what they got.
Find out what their plan is anyway.
yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, it'd be nice to know.
Yep. And then,
They had one of those in the last week, though.
we've got a lot of dead end roads.
Bridge to nowhere.
I got this yesterday. It's a construction maintenance agreement from the DOT that's on our projects, the chip seal project. And you need it back by the 10th of April. I gave a copy to Danny on the.
I didn't put in the packet, right? I didn't put in the packet.
Not in the packet.
It's the same agreement as we always have to sign to take care of the roads after we get money to do it.
Hereby certified that the county of Griggs will provide non-federal funds whose sources identified below, and that will be out of the federal aid budget for the fund. Local federal aid fund, pay under the terms of the attached agreement with North Dakota DOT. Non-federal match funds, they're not federal, they're local FAR funds, so that's been signed by the auditor.
Permission to sign?
I move that we sign the maintenance agreement with the city of North Dakota for our overlay project on stuff.
Been moved by Dale to sign
Chip seals.
Chip seal.
the chip seal.
Airport Road, Meta, and
And chip seal too. Are we chip seal on the,
chip seal, Airport, Hanford.
And the road south of Neta going to the river.
Yep, County Road 2.
Okay. Is there a second to the motion?
Probably should read those. Sam can
Oh,
type
I'll
those
second the
numbers in
motion.
those.
Seconded by Sean.
and the project number is chip seal 2000.
Parentheses, 015, parentheses. Is there any discussion? Is there any discussion? Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Okay. Anything else, Wayne?
Yep. No. I think so. Lighting, we're, Brian Fiber's back at work. Barbara is not yet. Not supposed to put any weight on his foot. Got a big cyst taken out of his foot. It wasn't cancerous, which is a good thing, but internal stitches in an hour, so you can't really wait on for a while, 21st or something. We're doing some cleanup in the lots and stuff, got rid of a bunch of stuff. People have asked about some of these old trucks and stuff. I think it'd be all right if I just take and make out a list and put it in the paper and advertise it, see what it is.
Start putting on bids.
See what it is.
Yeah.
You got,
Yeah,
you got stuff you want to get rid of, you mean?
There's some stuff that's just standing here. There's a couple of little pickups, 70 Dodge pickup too. I think was once lead pickup, and then they come back to us.
Eyesores.
Yeah.
I better make sure Steve finds out about it.
I think you have to advertise, you have to advertise it.
He doesn't read the paper all the time.
Either white it out or just cross it out and then print your name. So
Okay,
I'll do that.
okay.
A list and-
Clean it up. All right.
Okay, thanks, Wayne.
Guys, thank you.
Thanks, Wayne.
JDA board member. Is there something, there's nothing in here on that, is there?
Yeah, page
41.
Doesn't say who we're nominating.
Yeah.
Who?
Travis, on the notes in the bottom there, line.
Oh,
I looked at those culverts. I forgot. I don't look at those culverts.
So we're gonna remove Sean Steffen and add Travis
Need
Jordan.
160 foot, 24
don't
inch.
bet you might have removed yourself.
One down there east of Walker's.
Chuck, because you got your elevations and stuff in here, south.
Either side.
She doesn't live here anymore.
There, James.
Short answer is the money we have.
I thought she'd at least get mileage for coming up here for a meeting.
He has no small brush.
I'll make a motion that we accept the nominations as presented. Travis Jordan for Mickey Meilinger's position and Steve Askelson for another year.
I'll second the motion.
Whatever Johnson, but the other one.
Been moved and seconded that the nominations to the JDA be accepted as presented. Is there any discussion? Is there any discussion? Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Who seconded that?
I did.
Sean, no. Equalization meetings, page 42.
Okay. I found out that Ferris Saxburg has agreed to do Helena, so they have a assessor now. That is why there's a star by there. All the other ones need somebody to represent the county at, and so what I had done is kind of tried to break them down. Hannaford is on the 14th at 7 o'clock, and that's the only one that's on the 14th. Then there's 5 on the 13th at 7 o'clock, so if each one of you guys want to go to one of them, and then Cooperstown, Greenfield, and Mabel all have to be gone to, and then Binford, I still don't have a location for you, and I don't have a time or a day. I guess they haven't even decided where they are having it.
Well, can you call them and tell them just to have it sometime other than 7 o'clock on the 13th?
Okay.
Because I'll go to Willow and that's in Binford, and like if they just have it
At 8.
8, it's fine.
Okay.
I'll do both.
Where did we write down who was going to which one before?
I had it on a different sheet, but that's downstairs. But
Are we gonna meet before then?
no.
So you better shoot us each an email and tell us where we're gonna be when.
Okay.
I was gonna do Greenfield and Maple.
Yep.
I can't remember what I was gonna do.
Yeah, I had
But I think-
Cooperstown and Rosendahl.
They all had Greenfield and Mabel. Get off the table.
Can you go to one of them on the 13th, Dale?
Yeah. Greenfield.
Greenfield is the 13th.
I meant at the 7 o'clock. Because there's 5 that are at 7.
Greenfield's at 8 p.m. Maple's at 10 a.m. And then I've got my own township on the 14th, so
You're in Broadview.
I'm in Broadview.
Yeah.
Okay.
Who's doing Brian?
Which one were you doing, Ron?
I was doing Cooperstown at 1 and Rosendahl at 7.
Ron. And
And which other one?
Rosendahl at 7 o'clock
And then.
and Cooperstown at 1 o'clock.
so then, and I was doing Willow and Binford.
Yeah.
So we need Helena and Dover.
Oh, we won't need Helen anymore.
Fair visit.
Oh yes,
Okay.
fair.
Dover and Bryan.
Hannaford. Hannaford was.
Hannaford, Dover, and Bryan.
Down the bottom.
Oh,
City.
what time is that one?
There's
That-
there's the
That's
city.
it. That's
That
the
is-
14th, so that one would fit.
Is that a 7 on there?
I think so.
Yep, 7 p.m. On the 14th, not the 13th.
I could do Hannaford.
John's doing Willow.
You're doing Bryan, Troy?
I think so.
Yeah.
Who was doing the city of Cooperstown? If the city of Cooperstown was when?
Doesn't have that.
City, township.
They've got an
Why
assessor.
do I have
don't
2
they?
Cooperstown on here?
That's a township.
I don't know, but I have 2 Cooperstown on my list.
Oh, I just have 1 Cooperstown here for the
Here.
township. I don't have the city. for instance.
But they've got an assessor, correct?
Yeah, isn't
Yeah.
Is Nancy their assessor?
Yeah, so then we don't need to do that.
Right, but I don't know which one I was thinking.
You were going to Cooperstown Township?
Yeah, I was going to the township. Over there, this is house.
So,
Dover is the only one we have a problem with.
who's Greenfield and Mabel?
Greenfield was Dale and Mabel was Dale.
Yeah.
Okay,
And Sam, you're going to Dover?
I can.
There.
That might have been what we came up with
Yeah.
last
Who
time.
was doing Hannaford?
I got, yep.
Well, Sean, you could do Dover. Because Hannaford is the 14th.
Yeah,
Do you want to do Dover?
I can do Dover.
You're out, Sam.
You be the alternate.
Yeah, I can do it.
Cool.
Okay, what are we doing there then? I missed out the last go around.
They don't have an assessor. They don't have anybody representing the county going to these meetings. So
Oh,
Emily just.
it's just a representation
Yep.
at the meeting as well.
Yep, yep.
And there's nothing to do, if there's any questions on the assessment, then they make the request before the township board will vote on it, and then at that point it goes to the, if they approve it, it's done. If they don't approve it, it comes before the county commission anyway.
In most cases, there won't even be anybody there, will there?
There's not about 2 or 3 people.
I mean, the officers.
Just the officers.
They might not have any issues to decide.
Yeah, I mean, in prior years, when they were raising the taxes, I mean, they were standing alone in some of these. But when they were raising the assessed value.
Sure.
Where's the old brick seed farm at?
Oh. No, there somewhere.
Is there a contact?
Save
Is
it.
it on the website, the township officers for every?
Yeah, in some places, it's a little hard to find, I think. And you've got the township officers' names too, don't you? For every township, you got the name of the.
Yep.
We need to have a contact number so we can find out where the Albrecht seed farm is.
If you could just give me a number for
Okay. I'll make a
whoever
note
the
of
chairman
that.
is or whatever.
It had to be within your range when you're growing up, isn't it?
Huh?
It had to be within your range when you're growing up, isn't it?
That's a little fast. Probably was there, didn't know it.
On the way to Wimbledon?
Yeah.
Where,
I think it's north of Wimbledon.
I think
where do
that's,
Doug and Carol live?
Hmm?
Where did Doug and Carol live?
3-4 miles west
So,
and
correct.
2 miles south. On the old Weaver Larson farm.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I think that's who bought that anyhow.
And that's in Bryan Township?
Yeah, not Weaver Larson farm, the old, right before that, right to the north of there. I don't know who lived there.
Bruce Overby?
No,
Where at, John?
Doug and Carol,
That used to be a Miller farm.
Very well. right north of Seversold Farm.
No, Doug and Carroll, if you went straight west of Sieverts, there's a dead end and you gotta turn and go south to Garfield Mountains. They're
Oh,
right-
that's right.
They're right there on that corner.
Oh, who used to live there?
It was,
What's his face?
Gary Stabenow was there as the elevator manager at one point, and then Glenn and Carroll, Rickard bought it, and they, it was Paulson at that time.
Yeah.
And then Carroll and Doug got married, so now it's Carroll and Doug Rickard.
So you go south at the schoolhouse
South to the dead end.
and then west to the dead end.
And then they're right.
On
You
that
just turn
corner.
south and you're right there.
I thought that Chad, what's his face, used to live there.
Chad.
What was his name?
Yeah, south, yeah, that's right, south, yeah.
Who used to be married to one of the Anderson girls.
He was a photographer for a while, right?
No, he was.
Oh, yeah.
He worked for Stockman Supply, and
That was another mile.
oh,
You can't get there from there. But it's another,
for Pier.
for Pier, yeah.
Okay. New courthouse, old courthouse. See, we have an insurance bill here, Samantha. That's for the new courthouse.
That bill was already approved at the last meeting, but this is a contract that I missed the last time that needs to be signed.
Oh,
That was my fault. I totally missed it. Just thought it was the bill and.
you paid it. We approved it. We just need to sign it.
Yep. I'll have you sign this copy. Sorry.
Kind of hard on the rainforest, aren't
Do you need a motion to sign it, or we didn't just sign it?
Is this total premium the annual? or
Well, we
is it
approved
6 months?
it. We approved the premium, I presume we're gonna enter the contract. Did Jamie give you that letter? That's not on the agenda. I thought he'd have it with him.
I didn't receive any letter from Jamie.
I called him this morning and asked, but somebody said he'd be busy in court or something.
He had told me today the only way he'd be here before 3 or 3:30 is if the lady pled guilty before they start.
Yes, he did return my call. And I was going to ask him. Right, that.
Well, he sent me a draft letter concerning the lease, and
Should we, I make a motion to take a 10-minute break and then we can contact him and see if we can get that.
been moved that we take a 10-minute recess. Is there a second to the motion?
I'd second.
Seconded by Dale, all in favor?
I,
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. We are in recess.
he might be in court, but,
Call the meeting to order. We'll continue with this old courthouse, new courthouse subject. As discussed at the last meeting, in the contract, it specifies that the building authority is going to finance and construct this facility for the county, at least the courthouse portion of it. Since the thing has been underway for a year and a half and the county's still not able to enjoy the quiet use of the facility, Jamie was asked to draft a letter to the building authority putting them on notice that the county would no longer be making lease payments until that facility is finished. The next lease payment is, of course, due on the 25th of April. I didn't see this the first time I read this letter, but that first paragraph probably shouldn't end that sentence with a preposition. It should say paying rent to utilize or something, unless somebody has something more descriptive.
Well, I think it should say, but is yet to receive the building for which rent has been paid.
Okay.
No, but is yet to receive
And to receive
use of the
use
building
of the building.
for which rent has been paid.
yeah, the only thing I saw, like where it says under Article 3, I'd probably put under Article 3 of the lease agreement.
Yep.
Okay. Anything else in there you
think we need the last paragraph at all.
I remember that being part of the discussion.
That's kind of yada, yada, yada. I mean,
Well, the last two paragraphs say the same thing.
Yeah.
That's true.
Well, without being assured that Griggs County can take possession and fully enjoy the use of the courthouse, Griggs County will not be making any subsequent lease payments. We don't need to tell them what they need to do in order to rectify this. They know what they have to do. The lease agreement is the document that tells them what they have to do.
Yep.
So I think we should delete that last paragraph.
Did you get the?
I got basically everything. Okay, so nothing in this. What did you want that last sentence to say on the first paragraph? But is yet
It says-
to receive the building.
Use. But
Receive
is
use.
yet to receive use of the building that the county has.
Paid rent.
Been making
For
lease,
which the county has paid it. I
been
think that's
making
what
lease
my-
payments on.
What did we say, Dale?
We're not renting, we're making lease payments.
Yeah, that's true. The word rent isn't the best, I guess. If you can change that to lease, for which the county has.
But, you can write it down?
Yep.
But is yet to receive the use of the building that the county has made lease payments towards. That's all right?
Yeah. I think the first time you said for which the county has been making lease payments.
Okay.
Said that's for what the county has paid.
That sounded
Okay,
Has paid is what
but
the
it,
first.
but is yet to receive the use of the building for which the county has been making lease payments.
Or which.
That's cleaner.
Yeah, that.
Building for which
But
the
is yet to receive use of the building that
for which the
For-
county has been making lease payments.
which the county has been making or has made?
Has been made.
Has. Got it.
Read it back to us.
Okay. But is yet to receive use of the building for which the county has been making lease payments.
Sounds good.
Okay, and then the next paragraph where it says under Article 3, it should be under Article 3 of the lease agreement,
Yep.
comma, Griggs County, okay.
Got that.
And then
I
kill the
deleted
last
the-
paragraph,
Ah.
sentence, I mean. Okay. What are yours? Should we send this off?
print and sign.
Okay,
I make a motion that we sign it and have the sheriff deliver it to the chairman of the building authority, being that the address listed is the address of the
courthouse.
courthouse, and we're not assured of the making here, so we need to have it personally served on the chairman of the building authority.
Okay,
And it should say copy, Bank of North Dakota. Or does it, I don't see bank, you think you're copying Bank of North Dakota. Or did I miss it?
Let's just,
Or did we decide, I thought we were gonna copy them, but.
I
well,
thought we were gonna send a courtesy copy to the Bank of North Dakota, but
I think didn't we talk about that, and after we looked at it a little bit farther, that we didn't find any legal tie, legal obligation between
Maybe we
the
did.
Bank of North Dakota and the county, because the building authority is the one that
the indenture of trust
Yeah,
is between the building authority and, I mean, we have knowledge of the arrangement that they have, and in the lease agreement, we are a party to the lease agreement, and it states in the lease agreement that we will make payments directly to the Bank of North Dakota, so maybe we should send them a courtesy copy.
No, it isn't to the Bank of North Dakota. It's to the
Building
account, the building authority account
And then they send-
in the Bank of North Dakota. And then the building authority has to then release those funds from that account.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
But we got invoiced directly from the Bank of North Dakota.
Just because they do it wrong doesn't mean we have to. But it goes to their account, the building authority's account in the Bank of North Dakota.
They have a transaction account there?
And they have an account there. It's the one that they were using for the construction account. I assume is where it's going.
Well, no, that was a trust account. That was the bond. That was the proceeds of the bond. That wouldn't have been it.
But that's all it reads, because it
Doesn't matter, but, okay.
But we can just copy it to them too if you want. It doesn't matter.
I was thinking that's what we decided, but I maybe didn't.
I think it's a good idea because they're the ones that are gonna be involved in this thing, right?
Okay, that's fine.
From the get-go, I think.
Yeah.
So I
So
do,
continuation of my motion and copy it to the Bank of North Dakota. And I don't know the appropriate person there.
She does, she has the invoice.
Okay.
It's LaDonna.
Yeah, there we go.
Lane gang.
Yep. Okay,
I'll second the motion.
seconded by Sean. Is there any discussion? Is there any discussion? Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. John? Dale? Ron? Sean? Aye. Troy votes aye. Motion carries. On the EOC, I contacted K&J Flooring. They were in and got a key from Sam and went over and sized up the project from the double doors going west.
Yep.
I have not heard back from them yet. I also contacted Bergstrom Electric, and the foreman of the job was going to get a hold of me this week and come up and take a look at it, just to make sure he remembered where they left off. And he hasn't gotten a hold of me yet. So I did tell him we were meeting today. I was hoping he'd come up here this afternoon, but I haven't heard anything. John, I understand you walked through the building with Floyd Schultz from
Yeah.
Schultz
Spent
Plumbing.
hours in there, and he is ready to go start on that, and he'll just charge us just as he did before. He just has an hourly cost. Most of the materials are there. We went through and inventoried the materials. I talked with Agassi about the thermostats, and he told me that they'd be getting those back to the courthouse as he bought them here.
who's that?
Calvin Olson.
I haven't received
Okay.
anything.
Anyway, the thermostats.
So they were purchased just not on site, or?
Yes, they were purchased and not on site.
Maybe we should look in the Main Street store.
Yeah. Oh. well, we can try this. So I guess all we need is an authorization for Schultz to move forward, and he can go ahead and he was ready.
Did he
to
give
go.
us? Does he know what it's going to cost?
So much an
Well,
hour?
not until he, no, I mean, because he doesn't know exactly what's been done and what hasn't until they started up. There's not much to do, it's to set the units and test run them, and everything's there. But he needs to set the flows on everything, and, so basically, we're gonna be more of a service call than anything.
He'll do the installation of the thermostats.
Yeah, the thermostats are all wired, it's just a screw on the wall, and you need to set the flow on the forced air, as you know.
He needs to balance the system.
Yeah. and-
Each, there's so many zones, he's gonna have to balance each one of those zones.
So you don't-
But I don't know if he can really do that until we get the doors and stuff on, okay?
Well, all we need is just the doors separated to EOC, and there's only one set of doors missing. We can put plastic over that to balance them. Everything else is, you can.
I mean, the office doors, there's more than one zone.
Oh, right, yeah. So I mean,
right now, the return is just gonna be wild.
You're right. I mean, in the worst case scenario, you can put plastic over them and balance them, and then he would like to have the generator put online too, so that he can integrate all that into it. And
So
it's set up where there's 3 air handlers for the EOC and the balance for the courthouse.
So maybe we should wait until Bergstrom gets their deal done.
Probably in conjunction, I think it would work good if Bergstrom could be here and then Schultz at the same time. Everything's stubbed out outside of the
Right.
propane's in. I mean, it's just a set of units there. is
But
all
we
it
can't
is.
put the outdoor units on those heat pumps until we get some concrete poured, or is that,
No, they're just gonna sit on pads.
oh, they're gonna put them on fiberglass? pads?
Yeah.
Okay.
And we-
Temporary or permanent?
Permanent.
Oh, okay.
We haven't found those yet, but I presume they're here.
Well, I thought we were pouring cement back there. or
That's
something.
what I thought the plan was showing, was concrete.
Don't you remember?
Yeah, I remember. The problem.
I like the pad thing better, because then we don't have to worry about the drainage.
Well, and the problem with a concrete pad sitting at grade is a freeze-thaw cycle, and pretty soon they're not sitting straight, and then what do you do with the fiberglass pad? You pick it up, stuff some more gravel underneath it, and settle it down again.
One more thing with Bergstrom Electric, and maybe that's why I haven't heard from him yet. He was gonna get a hold of the state inspectors and find out if we could get a certificate of occupancy for part of the building.
Mhm.
He wasn't 100% sure, and he wouldn't take a guess at it.
You know, nevertheless, they need to finish the work so that it's right up to that issuing that certificate, and then we don't have to, right, yeah. So I think we should, I think we should just move forward and start getting these people on site, and we've got the money, via the EOC funds that have been back from the grant, and then we'll turn it in. I presume that we've turned in this $274,000 request. I talked to Connie, and she said she had, and so I presume that's been done.
Okay.
We need to, as we spend money from here going forward, someone needs to talk to the North Dakota Emergency Services, DES, and make sure that they look at this differently than the way that they're doing the reimbursement up to now.
Because we're only working on the LOC.
Right, yeah, up to now, they've been applying 38% and then 75% of that. So we just need to apply the 75% of whatever we paid. But we're a ways away from doing that.
Right.
Yeah. And we have 20-some thousand in the account.
No, we're negative on the account. Right?
Oh, we're negative on the account.
Because we paid construction engineers.
Yeah. We'll have 20-some thousand once we get reimbursed the 274.
Yeah.
I mean, the reimbursement for the 274, which is
80,000 or something. Or
274 times, what was it, 34%?
I think so.
That's somewhere around here.
I think we're negative.
yeah, about 70,000, 69,000.
Okay.
And we were negative, we paid 40.
There's 40, it should be 43,000 negative.
Right. So that would put us in that $24,000, and then as we spent that, so we'll be fine on that.
Okay.
I talked to the flooring guys too. I gave them a room finish schedule this morning so that they could tell which rooms get carpet and which rooms get vinyl and everything. Then they were gonna come out.
Oh, they couldn't find that on your website?
You couldn't?
I did.
Oh, okay, they couldn't.
I told them that's where it
Well,
was.
they
I
didn't
gave
say
you the
anything.
website.
They just said somebody's supposed to tell us where all the finishes go. So I copied it for them anyway, and they were gonna come out this afternoon. And then Scott Frederickson, I missed him today, but I'll probably get him out there Monday.
Okay.
The only other thing I can think of is we could do some real minimalistic concrete work, maybe a sidewalk from the
EOC door.
going south.
Just about need to put the curb and gutter in before you start doing that.
Well, you could
I mean, you could survey
you could
it.
shoot the grade and you could do it.
You
yeah.
could do it.
Yeah. At the most, you'd lose
3 feet of concrete if they had to chip it out when they put the curb and gutter.
Cut the end off.
Yeah, just cut it and put the expansion joint and knock it back over there. So, you know, I think we should have like a 6-foot walk going up to the front door and then we could do, it's not a big deal to haul some fill in there and do the yard. I mean, that isn't a big deal for our portion of it.
Anything else?
I'll make a motion then that we have Schultz Plumbing and Heating finish that portion of the project for the AOC Center.
Okay, and I'll monitor and make sure that there's not any big surprises, and if there is, I'll make sure he stops and lets us know about it. But there didn't appear to be, he said everything's clear.
Okay. Motion by Sean to have Schultz finish the EOC portion of the heating system. Is there a second to the motion?
Second.
Seconded by Dale. Is there any discussion?
The other thing is, he was going to test the plumbing portion of it also, make sure that everything's up and running. Yeah.
Is there any discussion? Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. John?
Aye.
Dale?
Aye.
Ron?
Aye.
Sean?
Aye.
Troy votes aye. Motion carries. Okay.
Could Schultz also check on the fire sprinklers to make sure we're
Yep.
signed off completely on?
Yep, and he can do that. We went into the fire room and he understood all that. And,
I guess anything plumbing, heating, and cooling related.
yeah, but he was in the pressure. I think we should pressurize the whole thing up and make sure there's no leaks anywhere, and then we'll just have to make sure that hope it's done by freeze up. But if not, we'll have to act accordingly.
How many doors are there hanging?
About 20.
On that, and
Just guessing.
There's some woodwork to finish in the courtroom and,
Yeah, that won't be part of the EOC at all.
oh yeah, that's right.
The only portion of the EOC that is possibly a portion of it, I don't know, is the entryway into the atrium. Is a percentage of that going to be the responsibility of the EOC? Because there's some glass missing there.
I was in Hope the other day. I just about stopped and talked to those guys. They probably have that glass over there. Or else it's sitting in here.
Yeah, there was kind of a question on that is we were because of the building and how much is left to pay on that, whether or not that glass has been purchased or not. Isn't that correct, Ron?
Yeah, I remember there was some talk about it.
Yeah. I think the bill was like $5,000. I'm just working on it.
Oh, yeah.
Like $5,000 left to finish it, and then we questioned where that was, where can that be, and we assume it's in the entryway there, and I don't know how much $5,000 will get purchasing glass. Maybe that isn't it. Maybe it's just insulation costs. I don't know. But that will have to be. Someone will have to call, talk to Hope, and ask them whether that glass is around here somewhere.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess we just need to see now what the response of.
We need to hire somebody to do the grading around the building before they set those pads, or?
We did that last fall. We had the county up here and rough graded it. We got some slope to it so it does drain out.
Okay.
And then setting the pads we'll have to get a couple loads of gravel up here, and they can just take Bobcat.
just
and
fill them to get them.
Yeah, and then once they're to grade, then we can slope it away from there. Didn't see anything else on the walk around other than there's getting to be a bunch of cracks in the floor. It's just cracking all over. The initial cracks that were there were a lot bigger, and it's just going to hell all over.
Fill them with gravel while they're tiling.
So we should have
the flooring guy do some minor prep, or are they beyond minor prep work?
Well, are they, what's the extent of them? Are they open up now and they close up come summertime? And then if you prep them when they close up, then it leaves a bump there, cracks it loose.
Are they like half-inch cracks? Or?
Some of them, yeah.
Oh, God, no.
Big just-
never stepped over those. I did.
Yeah.
Half inch.
But there's numerous, where before there were just some of those big cracks, and now it's starting to crack all over.
What type of flooring is going where those big cracks are?
Carpeting over everything, I think, isn't
Well,
it?
mostly carpeting in there, but there's like 4 rooms that get VCT, I think.
Yeah.
The interview room gets it, and, I can't remember, but 3 or 4 rooms get it.
Oh, and then the other thing with the heating and cooling, it's a pretty elaborate air exchange system for the garage and in the room right to the north of it there. And all the equipment is in there, and we assume it's all gonna be, it's all can be hooked up, but to actually run that in, to be practical and run that stuff, it's a huge expense because you're kicking so much air over the building and heat, so you're heating and cooling air that you wouldn't need to be. So we're going to get that to where it's operational, but probably not functional all the time.
The garage and the multi-purpose room.
No, well, the room right to the west of the garage,
Oh,
that hardened room.
EOC, yeah, that's like EOC emergency room or something.
Right. It's
Emergency communications, I think.
right. I think it's for the government officials to hide after the citizens figure out how much money was spent on it.
After they take their guns to hide.
So anyway, that's got a pretty
Safe room.
pretty extravagant,
It's a panic room.
pretty extravagant air filtration system, and
What do they got, carbon filters on them or something?
well, it's a big air exchange system, but then the ducts then run through hardened culverts basically, so that it's a duct within a duct. And the whole ceiling in that thing is concrete, and then there's one-way shutter valves so that it's always pressurized.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's supposed to keep their.
Yeah, and that's what the air exchange unit hanging in the garage is, that all pushes it back into there, and then all the electrical goes through conduit, and the conduit has got seals in it around it, because and the seals sit this way, and so that when you pressurize the room, it
Locks it.
yeah. So anyway, I don't know if it's necessary to make all that functional at all times. We'll make it operational.
Should be a hole in the wall where you can run the exhaust from the garage.
Yeah, and the floor heat in the garage, the boiler's there. If that system has never been charged, I don't know. Is that necessary to have floor heat in there when it's already got forced heating to the garage? If the garage is 50 degrees, the floor is going to be 50 degrees. If they did it right, I don't know if they insulated around the footings or not. But so anyway, I'll be around, and you guys can be around, and they're working there, and we'll get it up so it's operational. Were the double doors there?
Included.
Are they on site?
Which double?
Were the big security doors between the EOC and the courthouse and the lobby?
I thought those were just regular wood doors,
Oh,
weren't they?
They're fire doors, I'm sure.
big fire.
Well, the fire rated.
Well, I haven't seen.
I haven't either.
On the specs, I thought it just called for a pair of wood doors.
Oh, are they? Oh,
I think so, I'll double check.
well, maybe they are there. I was looking for them, but I couldn't. I was looking for something more
No,
elaborate.
I didn't see them in any other spec section, because they had the overhead coiling doors and stuff like that, and
Right.
several other doors, but there's no spec section for those type of doors, other than the wood doors, I think.
Okay, it wasn't bulletproof like in the rest of.
No, no, it wasn't.
Okay. So that's all I
Okay.
know.
Anybody else have anything?
Cement guy, we should be talking about that.
There's no cement guys in Cooper anymore. Daryl kind of retired, didn't he?
Oh, jeez.
Hill roads will be coming up in June to pour my aprons on my building. I suppose I could have them look at it.
It'd be nice to get something poured quicker so they're not tracking dirt in and mud into the building. Of course, they're gonna come in off the Gulf here.
Yeah, most of them, I think, will come in there.
Well,
You just about have to put down some pallets or something.
Other than that, you almost gotta go to Valley City or Carrington to
I guess Paul Cropleen poured Jonathan's shop.
And,
He's Finley guy.
Jonathan's brother-in-law.
Oh, shit.
We'll have to get the dirt work done before we do that. But probably.
well, it's easier to put the cement to grade and then put the dirt to
Get
the
a fill around.
But the county should be able to bring us black dirt and,
Gravel.
you know, when we do Bobcat and the county do a Bobcat and level it out and.
Somebody have
Drag it.
grades for the curb?
I imagine they're on the drawings, but
Well, if not, we can shoot it there, we can shoot it there. And that's, the curb just go, I mean, it's.
Straight line
It's
in
gotta
between.
end up in straight in between, so we can shoot that.
Well, maybe. It depends on what the street does. I don't know which way the water goes. I mean, I don't
yeah,
know.
they had a civil engineer prepare the drawings. It goes east. Must have shown grades.
Yeah.
Well,
But it's gotta be on the drawings.
I think so. I didn't
I
specifically.
think there'd be elevations on there. All right.
But you're right, the curb and gutter would be better to be put in first, but.
Okay.
Who is gonna take care of having the sheriff serve that?
I just
I'll have to come back and sign that when you get it.
do you want me just to retype it, or do you want me to have Jamie retype it?
No, it's
Just modify that Word document and print it on there. You don't need to retype it.
These are modern times.
Hello.
I'll move we adjourn.
Been moved by Sean that we adjourn. Is there a second to the motion?
Second.
Seconded by Dale. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Do you want to say when our next meeting is?
You need to reconvene?
No.